Some stories are disturbing because they involve violence. Others are disturbing because they involve silence. This story is disturbing because it shows how power reacts slowly, carefully, and only when it has no other choice. This is the story of Prince Andrew, and how the royal family's response to him evolved from protection to containment to isolation. Act 1. The friendship that wasn't questioned in the early 2000s. Prince Andrew was a senior royal, a war veteran, a trade envoy, a trusted representative of the crown. During this time, he formed a friendship with Jeffrey Epstein, a wealthy, well-connected financier who moved easily among elites. At first, the relationship raised little concern. Power protects power. Axis explains axis. But in 2008, everything changed. Epstein was convicted of soliciting a minor. For many in his circle, this was the moment to disappear. Prince Andrew didn't. He remained publicly associated with Epstein, even photographed with him after the conviction. Still, there was no palace statement, no explanation, no concern expressed. The silence held. Act 2. The allegations emerge. In 2015, that silence became harder to defend. Virginia Giuffre accused Prince Andrew of sexually abusing her when she was underage, allegations he has always denied. This was no longer guilt by association. This was direct accusation. The palace response was minimal. No interview. No formal rebuttal beyond brief denials. No visible consequence. Behind the scenes, Andrew remained. A prince, a duke, a man protected by the institution. The strategy was clear. If you don't engage, the story may die. It didn't. Act 3. 2019, the interview that broke the spell in November 2019, Prince Andrew agreed to speak publicly. The BBC Newsnight interview was meant to stop the damage. Instead, it detonated it. Viewers saw a lack of empathy for victims' implausible explanations, and a tone that suggested detachment rather than concerned. Public reaction was immediate. Headlines exploded. Trust collapsed. Pressure mounted. Within days, Andrew stepped back from royal duties. For the first time, the palace acted not forcefully, but visibly. The silence was no longer enough. Act 4. Queen Elizabeth II. Managing the damage under Queen Elizabeth II. The response was cautious and controlled. Andrew lost patronages. He vanished from public engagements, but crucially, he kept his title, his status, his residence. This was not accountability. It was containment. The monarchy's priority was stability, not resolution. And for a time, it worked. Act 5. The settlement. In 2022, Prince Andrew reached a civil settlement with Virginia Giuffre. No admission of wrongdoing, no trial, no public testimony, but the effect was irreversible. The case ended, but suspicion didn't. The monarchy absorbed another reputational hit, and the tone began to shift. Act 6. King Charles III. A different approach. With the death of the Queen, the strategy changed. Under King Charles III, Andrew was stripped of military titles, roya reputational. The use of HRH in official contexts later. He was effectively removed from royal lodge. This was no longer quiet management. This was dismantling. Andrew remained family, but not function. Act 7, 2026. The palace steps back. By 2026, renewed scrutiny emerged following further Epstein-related disclosures and assessments by Thames Valley Police. Then came a statement from Buckingham Palace unlike any before it. It made two things clear. The specific claims were for Andrew himself to address, and the palace would support police if approached. This was unprecedented. For the first time, the institution publicly separated itself from the individual. No ambiguity, no shielding, no shared responsibility. Act 8. What changed? The allegations didn't change. What changed was the cost of silence. Public tolerance evaporated. Media pressure intensified. The monarchy recalculated risk. What once could be contained now threatened credibility? The unanswered question. Prince Andrew continues to deny all wrongdoing, but the royal family's response is no longer about defending him. It's about protecting the institution, and that distinction matters because it reveals something uncomfortable. Accountability didn't arrive because of truth. It arrived because silence stopped working. This is crime scene archives. And sometimes, the most revealing evidence, IT found in courtrooms, but in how institutions slowly withdraw protection when the weight of scrutiny becomes too heavy to carry.